Tashidelek and welcome to In Conversation with Tibettv. Today we delve into a celebration of Tibetan art, culture and resilience. Joining us is Bhuchung D. Sonam, a renowned Tibetan writer, poet and the program director of the inaugural Tibetan Artist Festival, a landmark event that brought together Tibetan artists from around the world to highlight creativity and safeguard cultural identity. We are equally honored to have Tsering with us, a trailblazer in Tibetan music and a founding member of the first Tibetan rock band in exile, Rangzen Shonu, during the late 1980s and 1990s. Together, we'll explore the inspiration behind this historic festival, reflect on the journey of the Tibetan music and discuss how art continues to uphold Tibetan culture and unity. Welcome to Tibettv.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'll start this first question with you, Bhuchung. So can you tell us what inspired you to start the first Tibetan Artist Festival, and what was the main goal, and do you feel it was achieved?
We had this idea of having a Tibetan Artist Festival for quite some time. We just couldn't raise enough money to do that. So this year, Tibet Fund has kindly supported the project. So the main idea behind this was we are such a scattered community, exiled Tibetan community. The small population is scattered over 30 different countries. And along with the general population is also the artist. We are scattered in so many different ways. Even among the small artist community, we don't really know what is happening. Each one is doing his own thing, whether in Nepal or in Canada or in Japan and Australia. So we need to get together to make sure that art, to understand the role of art in society, and also to make sure that we know each other and find possibility of collaboration. You know, we have lyric writers, we have writers, and we have also musicians, we also singers. So we need to work together to make sure that Tibetan art as an extension of Tibetan culture is moving forward in a way that we want.
Mm-hmm. And at the festival, Tsering, you are one of the artists where many people are looking forward to listen to you, because you played after many years, right, at the festival, at this gathering of the Tibetan artists around the world. So I'd like to know, similarly, like Bhuchung, for starting this festival, what inspired you to actually start the first rock band in the 90s or the late 1980s in Dharamshala within the Tibetan exile community?
I'll get to that later, but first I've got to, be really, I want to express my grateful, thanks to Bhuchung for actually inviting me over to this festival. I was pretty much actually cut off from my music scene for a long time. I mean, pretty much like 4 or 5 years I've been just off the, but then this festival, I'm really inspired. Once I came to the festival here, as meet all the, the artists and the things going on over here. I think it was a really awesome, remarkable festival. So to go back to my music journey, that's I was actually born and raised mostly in Darjeeling, so I had the good fortune to actually, I wouldn't say good fortune, but good, circumstances to be able to attend a English private school in Kashang, that's close to Darjeeling, and it's called the Gothals Memorial School, and it was run by the Irish Catholic brothers. So pretty much very, the whole scene, the environment of the school was influenced with the Western style, kind of a. So that was where I actually kind of picked up, got interested into playing guitar and things like that. But I did actually go through a lot of rough times with money, because when talking about the facilities and things like that for, and from home, my parents, they weren't so supportive about this playing guitar. They want us to, me to focus more on my academic, the school studies and whatever it is. So I was pretty much ignoring my studies part of it and getting more interested in playing the guitar and things like that. So pretty much, yeah, that was where it actually started. I mean, my music, I would say, where I actually got interested into playing guitar, and very much influenced by the Western, bands. Like there's so many of them then. We used to listen to like the Beatles, Rolling Stones. So much thing in our ears at that time. We were really interested. But otherwise, I mean, I wanted to play guitar at that time, but I didn't have a guitar. I never owned a guitar, and it was a difficult situation. Although my interest was there, but the facility was not there for me to actually, So that was when once I left the school and I actually continued my study at Central School for Tibetan Darjeeling for 3 years. That was when I actually picked up the guitar thing, and so I just kind of carried on. Although I was still interested in the guitar, I never owned a guitar. I had to go around asking, borrowing guitar from my friends, kind of walking like 6 kilometers, borrow the guitar, take it home, and then we were practicing the whole night, and then I have to drop it back. Again, I had to walk with the guitar with 6 kilometers to drop the guitar. That was the kind of, And then the school I was in, Central School, we had our teachers, and they were totally against this guitar kind of thing. So I had to go so sacrifice a lot of these and go through these kind of situation. Yeah. But then that was after I actually attended the college, and that was where actually my guitar thing was more. I had a lot of friends. I owned my own guitar then, and we're just kind of spending our time. Playing more music and guitar, and I had a lot of Nepalese friends. They were really good guitarists over there. So we were just kind of sharing our thing, and then that was where it started. I mean, from the college. Then our Tibetan, the professor, his name is Ngajimala, and he's passed away a long time ago. We popularly call him as all the other Tibetans who used to live in Darjeeling used to call him Kherambaje. So, but he was a lay person, but he was really. And that was when he saw us going around playing guitar in the campus and singing English songs or Nepalese songs, he would be like, why don't you guys now, instead of going around playing all this English, and you should actually compose some Tibetan songs. So he said he's going to give us the lyrics, and then I actually got into that.
So, Bhuchung, I'd like to ask about the festival. How did the Tibetan community, both local and global, responded to it? And also, can you tell us the challenges that you faced?
I think people responded really well, because we had a lot of people coming, both of course for the music concert and also for discussions, especially young people. So I think it's really nice also because we as I said earlier, we live in such scattered communities. So social media and mainstream media, they are the only channels through which the festival came to be known to other parts of the world by Tibetans and also non-Tibetans. So I think it made, given the fact that a lot of people showed up both at the festival and also commented on social media and other platforms, I think people responded really well. And the other thing that I forgot earlier was the long-term goal of having this festival is the fact that we have survived in exile for such a long time, not because we have economic power or population or financial power or military power for that matter. What we have is the cultural soft power, but we need to make sure that that is strengthened and continued and survive for a long time. So I think, as far as I know, art plays really important role in making sure that the culture evolves with the time, and also if that is to happen, then artists play a really important role, whether they are musicians or writer or filmmakers or painters. So I think it's really important for us to make sure that we come together, realize that art can play a role in society and also in promoting and strengthening Tibetan cultural soft power.
And can you tell us a little bit more on the artists who participated, who are there present at the festival last time, whether it's a singer like Biljola and the artists, writers or poet?
Our original idea was to gather together 15 musicians and 15 writers, but I think we had 28 people who came actually for the fest to participate in the festival, including from Canada, Benjola, and also from US and Australia and South India and other parts of India as well. So all in all, we had 28 artists gathered together, and we had musicians, singers, poets, lyricists, and of course writers as well. So I think it was a very mix of both young and also people who have been in this artistic field for a really long time. So it was a really good mix. We also have men, women, and also have monks, a couple of monks. So I think it was a really electric group of people who got to know each other and also got to realize that what they are doing, have been doing by themselves for a really long time, kind of makes sense when they come together and discuss and talk to each other.
Tell us about the monk. What's the part in the festival?
We had two monks from South India, both are writers, poets, and also lyricists. One of the monks, I think he wrote over 100 lyrics for musicians, particularly living inside Tibet. So I think it's an important contribution from a monk who generally we don't look at them as coming into the lay form, you know. So I think apart from his serious Buddhist studies, I think he likes to write, particularly lyrics. As I said, he wrote I think about over 100 songs.
And the songs were available?
By and large, many of the songs were recorded and sung by musicians from inside Tibet. And 3 of his books were also published inside Tibet, but I think increasingly he cannot do that because of the surveillance and other restrictions inside Tibet.
Okay, and Tsering Benjola, my question to you is, how was the initial response to your music back then by the Tibetan community, and how has the perception of Tibetan music evolved in the exile community over the years? How do you see that?
Initially, I guess the album actually from our community, I think the Tibetans later on after we, I think maybe in the 90s, probably no, I mean late 80s, I guess it slowly picked up in a sense because the songs actually which we actually had in the Rangzen Shonu album was mostly I think people, because they were like the songs all had different themes. So most of my songs which the music I composed and the lyrics were mainly more like like a more politically sensitive kind of with everything to do with like let's say like freedom movement or like more patriotic themes in there to about our Tibetan political situation and things like that. Well, actually those songs, and then I had later on the Rangzen Shonu we had the Nomad song, which is like that was the only one song I think which really kind of I mean people the Tibetans among our exile society, I mean they probably picked up that song, they really found it more.
Yeah, I remember this song very vividly, like played and sung by the school children during our time in school.
I think, but the reason was that was more kind of I think people kind of loved that song more. Because they could relate to that is because especially all the other songs, the lyrics were pretty. I mean it was in Tibetan, but to a certain higher kind of the degree of I mean it was not like spoken Tibetan kind of thing. It was mainly written Tibetan kind of lyrics. So I guess that kind of made a lot of people, not really kind of. But when it comes to Anso Peke Drogwa, which is that was pretty, there were it was a written kind of, but mainly it's like a spoken Tibetan kind of thing. So Setva or whatever, people could actually catch the lyrics. Otherwise, I think that was one of the main reasons then. But there were other songs I think, but the ones which were more politically sensitive and those kind of songs which had higher, was I think mainly loved by people in Tibet actually. They kind of picked that up more, I think, and there was a love song also which was like, and yeah, I think they liked that song too. It's called Ningi Situ, which is like I don't know if I won't be able to translate that into Ningi Situ. It's like I don't know if you'll be able to translate that Ningi Situ. So yeah, so that song was pretty popular. And that tune actually I think was I know one of those from the singer from Ladakh, the actor. He actually made a song out of that tune. Actually, he actually used my tune, Ningi Situ. So that became a little more popular too. But when it came to the political themes and things like that, I think there were people listening to it, but those were more impact in Tibet. I think they kind of liked that song better or something. So, but down the line, I mean, I think yeah, things changed. I mean, then we had new, but not until yeah, that's much later. Yeah, I'm still back. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's pretty much.
How do you see the music, Tibetan music, evolved over the time, like right now?
It has evolved a lot now because until then, 1995, 6, we had the Yak band, which was still prominent then. We didn't have a band. That was the third. That was the second. The band which was actually playing a real rock, full band, going around performing concerts everywhere. So until then, yeah, I mean, that was the only among our Tibetan community. That was the only band. Yak band was the only one which people used to listen to or whatever. But thereafter, then now we have so many new artists and performing in so many different genres now. So yeah, that's what I kind of see. It has changed and evolved a lot for sure after the Yak band thing. So now you can see in the 2000, we have a lot of new genre musicians, and that's pretty inspiring. Yeah.
Do you listen to any of them?
I mean, yeah, I not the recent ones like G Tashi and Raita and no, that was new to me, honestly. I mean, I actually kind of followed them when they were playing in Simla, some fundraising or something. I don't know, but yeah, I just listened to their song. I thought this is pretty good. I mean, and then we had the rapper. This rapper is like the first time I'm actually listening to in the festival. He's like really inspiring, pretty good. I mean, among our yeah. So there's all these new genres. We're like the old school now with the rock and thing. The rock is still there, but it hasn't actually evolved much in the sense now. We have the rap and we have the hip hop kind of influence more than the rock, which used to be. But they still have rock now. I mean, in the Western world, but I don't think that's going to catch a lot of, to my experience. But so now we have the new genres, the hip hop and the rap genre. So yeah, so music's pretty much evolved a lot at this stage. Yeah.
But your first love is always the rock songs.
Yeah, well, honestly, I hate to say this. I mean, I love to listen to all kind of music, but yeah, I still want to stick to my because that's how I grew up, and and but rock is still prevalent in this world right now. Still, there are people still playing, but it has evolved a lot. Even the rock has been improvised here and there, and they've changed into a little bit of here and there. There was no punk rock and all that during our time. Punk rock all started after, like in late 80s or something. So those are new genres of rock, actually. So anyway, yeah, I just still listen to my old stuff, but I also listen to the new things. So, but I'm not a big fan of.
Okay, sure. Coming to the festival, Bhuchung, how do you see the festival influencing the Tibetan artists, especially in the exile community?
I'm a writer because as an artist, we operate by and large by ourselves, sitting in our rooms for a really long time. So we don't really know how much impact it makes. It is only when we come together and talk to each other and find audience, new readers, so then we realize things that we do by ourselves most of the time makes impact. It connects communities. I think that's one of the things that art does really well. It creates common ground. So I think the fact that we came together, that the fact that we were meeting for the first time here, the fact that Benjola has met so many new artists, the fact that there were writers from South India, lyricists from South India, musicians from Canada and Australia and US. So I think the fact that we came together, I think it made a really deep influence and inspired both the older generation and the new younger generation to see that there is potential for Tibetan arts. The fact that we have audiences, the fact that both music and literature have power to make connection and also influence and inspire people. And that also applies to artists themselves. I think so. In that case, the festival, I think, brought together the fact that we brought all of these people together from so many different places. I think it inspired many of the artists to do what they have been doing in a more dedicated, more inspired way.
So definitely this festival inspired them, many of the artists. So is there a second festival? If there is, are you expecting more artists to join in?
My original idea and hope was that we have to have these artist gatherings, whether in a scale that we did in the last few days, but we definitely hope, and I definitely hope that we will have something or the other in the coming years, because we had music and literature this time. We still have Tibetan theater, Tibetan films, Tibetan paintings, and there are other art forms as well. So I think it's really important for first and foremost for artists to come together to realize the power of art, and also more importantly to make people understand that art is part of our life. Art has power, and art can also play roles in telling our stories, both to ourselves and also to a larger community. So I hope that we will have more such events in future.
Okay, sure. And Pinjula, what did it mean for you to perform at the Tibetan Artists Festival, and how do you see such events shaping the future of Tibetan art and music? What was it like for you?
Yeah, definitely it made a big impact in my, the way my mindset and the way I think about music. And it was beyond my expectation. When I got here and I saw the whole, the setup, and it was really, I mean, I was kind of, off the music for quite many years, and I hadn't even played my guitar in like 4 or 5 years, kind of 4 years, and then that's when Bhuchung, surprisingly for me, I got a call from Bhuchung saying, okay, if he was inviting me over, and I said for yes, for sure. And then so once I came here, I saw the whole setup and everything, and Bhuchung I met first time, we were meeting for the first time here at the festival. And I think, I got more inspired here now. I didn't think, I was kind of retired with the music scene and everything. Now I come here and I see a lot of people liking my, song, and then more support from all the audience. And that was pretty incredible. I mean, for me, to see that I still have a lot of people who listen to my song.
You have a big fan base here, I guess.
I was like, I was expecting fan base. No, I was expecting people who love my song from my generation, but not really. Okay, maybe the next generation too. But now I have like even little kids from 8, 9 years old also came over, and I hear those 2 kids came over, and that really inspired me a lot they came and they said they also sing my songs, and they're also starting to play guitar, and that's where they're actually learning more. And then they said they were a fan of mine, and and then pretty, that's not pretty, but that's incredibly, for me, a new experience. Where at a time I thought, okay, I'm done with music. I'm just gonna retire, and and. It was Puchula called me, and then after that, I had maybe a month or so. I just had to get my guitar out. I have my own busy schedules there with my family and my work and everything, so I had to take out my guitar and start, getting back to my. And by then, I had also forgotten a lot of my lyrics. I wasn't. I had to go through the lyrics again. So anyway, coming here is totally new. It was an experience. I've never had that kind of experience in my past. We were performers. We did any artist composing music, and we were just performing. But that was it. I mean, it was nothing like like coming here this time. So I'm really grateful to Fujingla for this whole. No, when I was leaving on the plane also, my wife was like, okay, you're going to go sing some songs over there for this festival, because she's a little, not into that music kind of thing. I'm like, oh, maybe you just have aunties and uncles that are going to listen to your song. So now I've got to tell her, like, it's not just uncle and aunties, it's more than uncle.
So, what do you think? Like this connection that that people, young people, also they found it through your song.
Well, I actually met a lot of, during the festival, the audience, I mean, they were all the young, maybe in their 20s and 30s or whatever. I'm almost close to retiring now, so next year I want to retire from my work and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, I met so many of them, came to me, they wanted to take selfies with me, and I was like, this is a first time experience for me. Like, I mean, we never had that kind of thing before. Even when it comes to technology, now we're far from, what it used to be. So there's a lot of thing going on. And so I guess technology has actually even brought us much closer. Because a long time ago, I mean, when you're talking about 10, 20 years ago, I mean, there was no media, social media, all these kind of, platforms and things like that. So we didn't know what was going on. But now, so things have changed a lot. So, and I think, yeah, the festival was remarkably, I mean, something which will be remembered forever. And I wish we were going to have some more festivals like that to come in future. That's up to Pujungla, I guess. And he's working on a lot of things right now. So.
Okay. So I like to ask Bhuchungla, Tibetan art and music often carry this cultural and political significance, right? So how do you see Tibetan art and music contributing to the larger Tibetan cause globally?
I think one of the things that art does is to tell stories. We need to tell our stories well. A good book can have far more impact than many other things that we do. So I think, like for example, Benjola's song, sang 30 years ago, still influences younger generations. So that connection, very few things can do. So I think art has really important roles to play in telling our stories, first and foremost. And he who tells good story eventually wins. We have propaganda, Chinese propaganda, for example, spending hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to basically fabricating lies about Tibetan history, culture, everything basically. So I think if we are to counter that, then we need art and its soft power to tell our stories. That is one thing. And of course, other thing is the fact that it connects people. And as I said earlier, we are scattered all over. In order to make sure that the younger generation has an idea of Tibet, and based on that, their dedication to fight for something that we must, the struggle for freedom. So I think in order to do that, art plays really important role to make sure that we all are staying connected. Like Penjola's songs, for example, are listened to in Tibet, in Nepal, in US, everywhere. They may not know who the musician is. They may not know each other. But the fact that they enjoy his music And then through that, they can associate with the idea of Tibet. And that seed is really important. And such seeds are planted by works of art, whether it's a painting or a good story or a book, novel, for example, Tsering Lama's novel, which has been translated into 5-6 different languages. So I think that book alone can play a really important role in connecting who we are and telling our stories in a better way. So I think in that sense, art can contribute to our political struggle in many different ways, in a long way, in an enduring way.
Definitely. And Penjula, how do you incorporate Tibetan culture and identity into your music? And what role does music play in preserving Tibetan heritage in exile?
That's a pretty question. I was like, yeah, I think what I feel is the songs, the music I've been playing is, when it came to the political themes, I was pretty much inspired by the Western rock musicians like the Beatles, and because a lot of these rock bands actually they do have their own love songs and everything, but when it comes to the lyrics, a lot of their lyrics have everything to do with within the greater society, and then to create more awareness about the lives in the world around, and pretty much they're like the lyrics actually, and the music, it's like when it comes to Bob Marley, it's a pretty rebel kind of thing. He's not really actually a rebel, but if you go to like John Lennon's songs, like Imagine and all that, I don't know if you've listened to the songs, but those songs has a very deep meaning for people to kind of to bring effect to their mindset, things like that. So exactly the same way. I mean, when my professor from my college, Tibetan professor, wanted me to think, and I actually did ask my professor to some of the main themes about the songs. I wanted him to write the songs in a particular kind of lyrics. So that's what actually kind of clicked me on my mindset that maybe we could, if I was to compose these songs, I really wanted to actually make it more, the themes would be more political or, according to our Tibetan. So that way we'd be able to, create more awareness and more, that was pretty much my kind of thought then. And it has been since then. Even till when I was with Yak Band, there's a song, Rangzen song. That was also, composed and created by me, and I sang that song. So till then, I still, even till this day, I still have that. So yeah, and I think my songs actually did probably make an impact on our Tibetan people's mindset, whatever it is. I mean, they're not only listening to the tune and the guitar thing, but I'm sure they're also listening to the lyrics.
Also to your voice.
My voice?
I guess
Yeah, no. When I actually came over, I was thinking. I was caught with cold and everything. I know, but I was thinking my voice must have aged too. I mean, that's what I felt. But then once I came over and I was singing, I had all of them coming over and saying, yes. I had Tijungla. I don't know. He came and told me, oh, your voice is matured. Kind of that kind of thing. And a lot of them said, like, they will listen to somebody from the radio or something. You know what I mean?
So coming to Bhuchung, so do you plan to make the Tibetan Artist Festival an annual event? And at the festival, you spoke about starting a Tibet Art Council. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, of course. Ideally, we should have artist festival every year, right? Yeah. I think it's really important, as I said before, to come together and make sure that we are moving towards somewhere. So I think that is really important. And as far as the Art Council is concerned, this festival was funded by the Tibet Fund, and one of the things that in the long run it might be good to have some kind of a group or a committee to make sure that we are scattered all over. We have a lot of platforms and opportunities, sometimes grants and other things. So, but artists don't really know about this. So I think if we have a kind of a group, possibly in a Tibetan Art Council, then I think it'll be really useful for other artists to kind of come together and say through this whatever a committee or a group of people or whatever shape it might take to understand there are possibilities, whether it's a funding source or even going to a festival, for example. There are a lot of literature festival happening here in India and also elsewhere, but writers don't really know about this. So if we have a group through which we can provide this information, I think, so that is one of the things that we are trying to do in the long run. So, but as far as the festival is concerned, I wish and I really hope that this will become an annual thing. But of course, everything depends on raising funds. So if eventually we get lucky, I will definitely have something in the coming years, definitely.
Thank you. And Bhuchung, what advice do you have for the aspiring Tibetan musicians and artists in exile community?
Yeah, I mean, we should have more musicians coming now. I mean, new musicians, and I'm not sure whether they followed the festival here on online, through the social media or whatever it is. There are a lot of artists, musicians right now. I mean, in the States, wherever, So I'm sure they followed it, and it kind of should have inspired them too. And so my advice to all should be as to keep a close connection with all other artists, and trying to kind of create a more like a family kind of artist family kind of sense, and then that way we'll be able to create more more artists later on, and that'll going to inspire them more. And the youngsters, we have the younger generations who are, I mean, times have changed. I mean, now we have different, the technology. Because of the technology, we have more younger generation having, access to so many new things, and that way. So pretty much, yeah, I think the artists we have right now, like musicians, I would definitely say that they should keep, carrying on, but not like me, I mean, not until Bhuchung called me, I was like kind of off the music thing. So now I get inspired, So I make sure, because I had a lot of requests coming saying that I should maybe bring back the old songs and record, maybe get a new, recording done, and maybe new music for me, and so that way, a person like me who's 64 years old now, I mean, getting inspired, I would definitely have the younger generation not to lose, because some of them get discouraged or something because they think, no, that's not much, but that shouldn't be the point. If you're a musician, love your music, and just keep carrying on and doing something, So that's my.
So before we wrap up this incredible conversation, we'd like to hear a glimpse of magic that made your music so iconic. So if you may, would you mind playing a song, one of the popular songs from your song for our audience?
Karya si pekangriya te monam la tu tawate ka te mone chugyun tang selpa ka chugu saki tang chugyu nga so pa ki drok pa sa gyu tung gyu shim la chura mar tu yak sha ju yang che nga so drok pe lu gyu nga so drok pe lu gyu ne la ring yu pang kiri sa ta me to ke me na me to ki ti shim kya te la do lu nam shi de pa pe kyu mang sa sa shing tu del po gyu nga so pa ki drok pa sa gyu tung gyu shim la chura mar tu yak sha chi yang che nga so drok pe lu gyu nga so drok pe lu gyu ne la ring Phuk na yak tang di kar muluk tang ra ye kung ye kyung che ta la tam nga so drok pe lo gyu lu she le drok pe lo gyu ni ne la ring nga so pe ki drok pa sa kyu tung gyu shim la chura mar du yak sha ju yang che nga so drok pe lu gyu nga so drok pe lu gyu ne la ring nga so drok pe lu gyu nga so drok pe lu gyu ne la ring
Wow. Truly iconic and very beautiful song this was. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to both of you for coming today to our office, to Tibettv, and sharing your insights on the Tibettv Festival and the journey of Tibetan music and art in exile community. Thank you so much for being here. To our viewers, we hope this conversation has given your insights into the dynamic and ever-evolving world of Tibetan art and music. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next conversation.